For those that say I'm too harsh on Donald Trump, look, he found a silver lining in having caused a worldwide recession starting at home in the United States at a press conference, shaving off $5 trillion worth of shareholder value in 2 days and dropping all of the stock markets and indexes by a total of about 11%, which is as bad or worse than what happened during September 11th, the 2008 financial crisis, and during COVID. Overnight, there's a silver lining. He's about to cut a deal with Vietnam. There. Is it all better now? And now Nike and Lululemon won't likely be subject to tariffs, meaning we can wear all the athleisure wear from Lululemon and sneakers that we want as we're homeless. I'm Michael Popok. You're on Legal AF. 2 days in, how's it going? Not well. That's not me talking. That's JPMorgan Chase, Jamie Dimon's bank. Jamie Dimon was always going to be the Treasury Secretary until he said no. JPMorgan, I reported last week, had moved their prediction of a recession from 40% to 60%. Forget about that. Its lead economist just today said the economy is going into a recession. That's it. No more predictions. They predict that the gross domestic product will shrink by 0.3%. We're supposed to be growing, not shrinking. And the unemployment rate, which Joe Biden, remember him, got down to in the threes, heading for 2% of our working Americans, is going to rise to 5.3%. We're heading back to COVID, folks. What is it with Donald Trump and wrecking economies and having people unemployed? And no amount of good news on a lagging indicator like jobs reports that came out today. Nobody celebrated the jobs report. That was a little better than we thought, because the next job report is going to be horrific. Even Jay Powell, the head of the Federal Reserve, said that the inflation possibility is a larger probability than they had expected. Let's get to it, everybody. Let me put it in perspective. The market drop during the beginning of September 11th was 5%. The market drop in the dot-com bust was 6%. The market drop in the 2008 financial crisis was 9%. And the market drop for COVID was 11%. What did Donald Trump just do in the Rose Garden when he dropped his pants and took a crap all over the American economy? 11%. Say goodbye. You know how many years it's going to take us to recover? Think about your whatever you held in stocks on your 401k or otherwise. Think how long it took to recover, 2 or 3 years. And that's what, and Donald Trump doesn't have 2 or 3 years. We don't have 2 or 3 years under him either. He thinks this is the way to win the midterms and not make himself instantly lame duck. This looks like a recipe for somebody that wants to be taken out of the presidency. And we as voters need to accommodate his desire. Now, all 11 segments of our society, sectors of our society on the NASDAQ, the S&P 500, all those industries are down considerably. Stocks that you've heard of are down 9%, 10%, 11%, 15%, up to 20%. Those are major American blue chip brands, regardless of sector. Nobody was immune. Nobody was protected. Insurance stocks down 10%. Financial services stocks down 12%, 15%. Tech stocks, depends on the tech, but all down 15 to 20% in 2 days. So there's no place to hide. Anybody that's manufacturing, anybody that's into leisure travel or business travel, like airlines, down 15, 20%. Oil companies, the same thing. Because when Donald Trump cut the fuel line to the global and U.S. economy, that's the stalling sound you're hearing. And what happens with stalling sound is joblessness goes up, consumer confidence goes down, manufacturing confidence goes down, confidence in global trade goes down, oil goes down. We don't need as much oil. We're not manufacturing or consuming or traveling anymore. Oil bursts through the floor. That's the only good thing that'll come out of this. You won't have a car, but if you had a car, it would be much cheaper at the gas pump to fill it. Yeah. And the only thing that Donald Trump, who took a minute, I guess, out of the back nine at the Doral golf course in Miami, where he likes to go after he causes a cataclysmic economic worldwide crisis at a Rose Garden affair, he, I guess, took a pause out of hitting the sand wedge to declare, good news, everybody. See, it's working. I made a crazy, not math or economy-based formula for reciprocal, really retaliatory tariffs. But some people are coming to the table. Vietnam called me, everybody. Good for you. The Communist Party of Vietnam called you and said, hey, don't worry. If you zero us out, we'll zero you out. And you can manufacture here. Great. So all the schmatas you want to wear, everybody, and all the athleisure wear and all the Nikes, which is good because, you're not going to have a car. You're not going to be able to borrow. You're not going to be able to borrow or get credit for one. This is, as the Democrats have said, the dumbest recession on earth. Have you ever seen a Democratic president just detonate an economic bomb at and they were so happy at that press conference? Can you remember it? This would be like if I was in a TV show, it'd be like a dissolve. Can you remember it with wavy views and then music? Yeah, I can remember it. It was just 2 days ago. Liberation Day. That's going to go down in Merriam-Webster's dictionary, as probably the worst. This is right up there with George W. Bush saying, mission accomplished. Liberation Day. What am I being liberated from? My financial security? My social security? My wallet? My purse? My pocketbook? My ability to support my children? My ability to support my aging parents? I've been liberated. Thank you. I wasn't asking to be liberated, but apparently I am. The stock market has been liberated of a lot of value. $5 trillion. I did yesterday's hot take. I was like $2 trillion, and that number was eye-popping. Now eyes are popped and rolling down the street. $5 trillion. Lord knows what, thank God they put the brakes on and the trading day ended. Lord knows what Monday is going to bring. We'll have to watch the futures over the weekend and what trading is like across the board. And it's not just here, because the old adage or the old line, when America has a cough, the world gets the flu. So this isn't even American cough. This is America, what's the equivalent? Getting the bubonic plague? What's the equivalent? The rest of the world dying. That's just it. Everything that's happening here is happening in Europe and in Asia, in their stock markets and their central banks, but worse. See, Donald Trump, I think, thinks that the person he hates on this planet, Jay Powell, the chairman of the Federal Reserve, is going to bail him out by cutting rates in June, if not before. Rate cut. We need a rate cut. We have a rate cut. We'll rate cut our way out of this. No, you're not. Jay Powell is going to cut a rate because he's worried about stagflation. That is a contracting economy with shrinking gross domestic product, rising prices, and joblessness. Put it all together, you got stagflation. It is the worst. We've had it once before in our country. It's the worst. It's the economy stalling out, but at higher prices. What are causing the higher prices? Let me guess. The universal 24% tax that Donald Trump just put on every country and now doubled down on it. See, Wall Street thought Trump was going to blink, that this was just a bargaining strategy, leverage, if you will, to get everybody on the phone. I pictured phone banks at the Commerce Department, headed by Howard Lutnick. Hello, hello, yes, hello, Albania, yes, hello, Algeria, yes, hello, Africa. Yeah, nobody's calling. They're just retaliating. And all the things that matter to our economy, because as I've said before, you can't build an iPhone out of US-based products and materials. You need worldwide global trade. What is the matter with worldwide global trade? I heard Marco Rubio at NATO, of all places, say this has to be one of the dumbest things I've ever heard a human being, government or no, say out loud. He actually said that we don't make anything anymore in America, that we only provide services but not goods. That is, I'm going to play that clip. Yeah, let's play the clip.
Well, the worst thing is to leave it the way it is forever. I mean, this just can't continue. We can't continue to be a country that doesn't make things.
Yeah, this is up there with Howard Lutnick yesterday saying, we have big, beautiful beef. He talks just like Trump. We got big, beautiful beef. Our big, beautiful beef isn't being bought. There's a lot of reasons for that, okay? But this dumb comment by Marco Rubio, I got news for you, Marco. You may have failed out of school or you didn't take macroeconomics, but the major competitive advantage that we have as an American economy is we produce in volume more goods and services than any other country in the world. But we need a market to take it. What do you think technology is in terms of manufacturing? He's saying we don't make anything because Apple builds it all somewhere else. That's not true. We have manufacturing plants all over America. We have agricultural products all over America. We are the world's breadbasket. We were, until you killed it. We were the world supplier of chicken, of grain, of corn, of potatoes, of vegetables, of fruits. That alone, we also make other things. We make chips. They're small, but they're mighty and they're really expensive. We make oil. Yeah. So this ridiculous, asinine comment that all we are is a service economy, it just shows you if this is what is inside the brain, and that the word brain is doing a heavy lift in that sentence, of the Trump administration, they should all be summarily dismissed for malpractice, starting at the top with Donald Trump. There's a reason he doesn't seem to have any economists in his inner circle. I mean, he's busy listening to Laura Loomer talk about a crackpot, a 9/11 denier. How does that sit with Howard Lutnick, who was the owner until he passed it on to his two sons of Cantor Fitzgerald, which suffered a 658-person devastating loss when planes slammed into the World Trade Center. Why don't you sit in a meeting next to Laura Loomer? He did recently, while she pointed out who she wanted fired for the national security team led by Mike Waltz. They're busy listening to a crackpot conspiracy theorist social media poster instead of focusing on my wallet and yours and issues around our kitchen table. We need to punish them now. We need to go after them now. Every special election from now until the midterms, it should be a bloodbath, much like what just happened to the stock market, but it should be bleeding red. I mean, a red bloodbath, a blue wave. Make him the fastest lame duck president we ever have. The courts are holding him at bay the best they can. We have to do it at the ballot box. I'm Michael Popok. You're here on Legal AF. I'll see you in my next reporting. In collaboration with the Midas Touch Network, we just launched the Legal AF YouTube channel. Help us build this pro-democracy channel where I'll be curating the top stories, the intersection of law and politics. Go to YouTube now and free subscribe at Legal AF MTN. That's at Legal AF MTN.